listening to ChickFlicks with me, your host, Alexis Otang. I'm so happy to be back for another episode. And guys, we are doing another installment of our Fantasy Film League. So today I have Taya with me. And the topic that we're going to be drafting for is something she's very much a fan of. She knows a lot about. We're going to be drafting Marvel films. So Taya, why don't you tell everyone who's listening and watching why you are very qualified to be drafting this?
Out of everyone that I'm friends with, I'm the most qualified because I am a nerd. I'm a geek. We were in Vegas and I went to the Avengers museum experience thing that they have. I got to sit on Captain America's bike. I will never ever stop telling people that story. And I'm wearing Marvel socks today. I actually have 3 different pairs of Marvel socks, and these were the ones I went with because Captain America is the coolest. So yeah.
What are the other 2 that you have?
I have another pair of Captain America socks, and then the other one is just all of their little individual logos.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah,
that's cute.
That probably would have been easier to wear, but Captain America is I need to support.
Hey, you have your favorite. You have
Hell
your favorite.
yeah.
I can't even argue with that. Okay, so if you are new to this series and you want to know how the Fantasy Film League works, it is simple. We are both going to be drafting picks on this topic. We are going to flip a coin. This is the coin, okay? We're going to be flipping this coin. Whoever gets the first pick goes first, and then I will go second or she will go second, and we'll go back and forth. We cannot have the same pick. Once it's been taken, it is off the table. For the Marvel Cinematic Universe draft, we have implemented some rules. So, I think we said we can only choose 2
movies per phase. And then 2
Ooh, I gotta check my map.
You can only do up to 2 movies per phase, and we're about to go into phase 5. And then you can only pick 2 movies per trilogy series kind of vibe. So out of like Iron Man 1, 2, 3, you can only do up to like Iron Man 1 and 2.
Okay.
That sort of kind of thing.
Yeah, so you can't have more than 2 of the same series or leading character.
Yes.
So obviously the Avengers films and like Iron Man films are different. Just because they both have Iron Man doesn't mean you can't pick.
Exactly. Yeah.
So hopefully everyone understands those rules. So without further ado, guys, I always let the guest call. So
I'm gonna go tails for Taya.
Tails for Taya. Okay, ready? You got tails. Okay. Damn it. I really wanted to go first because I know I'm not like, as you guys know, she prefers Marvel over DC.
Oh, 100%.
But I honestly love DC characters a little bit more. My brothers were both like Marvel, DC. Well, specifically my older brother was definitely a superhero person. He had the encyclopedia. He would talk to me about it all the time. Love DC comics, loves superheroes, and Marvel. But honestly, I think because they had like a bias towards DC, I ended up watching more DC shows, which I would say DC has the better shows. Will you agree?
Yeah, Marvel definitely makes better movies, but DC does have better shows. Like, actually, the first time me getting into superheroes was DC, but that's because I was watching The Flash, Green Arrow, Supergirl, and Legends of Tomorrow.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, love The Flash.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe one day I'll bring you back for the
DC TV draft. Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right, so you may go with your first pick of the Marvel Cinematic Universe draft.
My first pick, which should be a shocker to no one, is Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Wakanda Forever, specifically.
Oh, okay.
Here's the thing. Obviously, I wanted to go with the first one because Chadwick Boseman will forever have my heart. That man, top tier. Michael B. Jordan, love. Okay. Part of the reason I went with the second one.
Can I guess?
Sure.
Is it because of the villain? Because honestly, he killed it.
He was
Neymar was honestly he's top 5.
Yeah, in terms of MCU villains, definitely, because his like whole reasoning for like doing what he did is just like you want to side with him so bad. But no, I think part of the reason I went with the second one is just because in terms of I'm very much an emotional person, and going into filming the second movie without Chadwick, like the Black Panther. They went about it in such a way that was just so delicate and so like respectful and so inviting in a way where it was like, even if like if you didn't watch obviously you should watch the first one before you watch the second one, But it's like, you can't not feel every emotion in that second movie.
No, I literally say that I think, and people think I'm crazy for even insinuating this, but I do think Black Panther Wakanda Forever is better than the first one. I will say it's my preferred feather, because the emotions, they did that for Chad. I think the reason why it's better is because they did it.
Won. Angela Bassett should have won.
We can't get into this
for that, and I will never forgive anybody for that.
We can't get into that. I'm not disagreeing here. But yeah, I just think it's a solid pick. I cannot argue with that. I think it is an amazing movie, and I definitely think that in terms of the story, I do think it's a stronger story than Black Panther.
Yeah, 2. I think also,
Black Panther, the first one.
Shuri, the character development that Shuri went through, it's like try writing a better character.
Ryan Coogler did his stuff. He did it.
He went in, said, yum, yum, yum.
Okay, so that's your first pick.
Yeah, sorry, your turn.
So my second pick, Black Panther. Yeah, Black Panther. Actually, my first pick was Black Panther, because the reason why I didn't go with Black Panther Wakanda Forever is I just think Black Panther, it set the precedent. I don't think Black Panther 2 could have been as amazing as it was if Black Panther, the first one, like setting the stage.
Yeah.
I think it was one of the first MCU films where like you couldn't help but also agree with the villain. Like why Michael B. Jordan's character Killmonger was doing what he was doing. Well, I feel like
all the characters in the Black Panther universe, top tier villains.
I think it was just so amazing how they incorporated culture. It was an amazing film. And I think also in terms of like the premiere, I think Black Panther 1 had like more of a community sense of like the community going to see it, because it was the first Black superhero to ever get like a movie like that, like that blockbuster solo film. So I remember my family went to go see it. My mom and dad are not film people. They do not like to go to the movies. They're not people like that. They went. We all wore our kentes. We sat there. My dad paid for the large buckets of popcorn. That's how you know
it's a good movie.
You know Paul Otang, he don't like spending money when he don't need to. It was a big deal for so many people. So that's why I'm going to go Black Panther. But honestly, I have to say across the board, both of these picks are solid. Yeah. Like you could, I could have Black Panther 2 and you could have Black Panther, and I feel like we'd both be okay with that.
Yeah.
Okay. So first round is done. Now going on to 2. This is when it's going to get, because I feel like we both had this same idea for the first one.
See, here's the thing. I don't even know how I feel about this pick, but I'm sticking with it because it is also just one of my favorite movies. I'm going with Avengers Age of Ultron.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That movie, there's just something about that movie that it like warms my heart, but it's like important and like serious, but like it's funny and it's like heartwarming. And then you also
have the introduction of Wanda.
Yeah, and Quicksilver. Mm-hmm. So it's like everything about that movie. Because here's the thing, again, I don't want to say it's partially for the villain, but I love villains that are like funny. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, it just makes it a little bit lighthearted.
Exactly, and like even though Ultron, he was born out of like good intentions. You know the saying, "The road to hell is paved with good intentions."
Yeah,
that's literally what Ultron was supposed. Like he was supposed to be like a robot so that they could stop work. Like it was like, hey, no, we're just gonna have this robot. He's gonna circle the planet, and that way we can stop working. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, Tony.
See what happens when you try to get lazy?
Exactly.
I definitely think, it's a good film. I don't think people talk about it enough. Age of Ultron. It was really good.
Yeah, Age of Ultron I think is one of my favorite, like, Avengers movies. Like, Endgame and Infinity War are also fantastic, but I think Age of Ultron is my favorite.
Okay, period. All right, so for my pick, now, I know I said this is the Marvel Cinematic Universe draft, but we also extended it for any film that has a Marvel character leading it. So therefore, I'm going for the original Spider-Man, Toby Maguire's Spider-Man 2. I'm doing Spider-Man 2. I think it's the epitome of how you do a sequel, how you do a superhero film. First of all, sequels back then for like superhero films, Iron Man 2. Yeah. Thor 2.
The second one.
The sequels were always hard to
Winter
follow.
Soldier, top tier. Captain America, Winter Soldier.
Okay, fair. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad.
Okay, I was about to be like.
But I'm saying, like, I hate to throw this one under there. Ant-Man and the Wasp 3 wasn't that great. Like, there's sequels are very hard to do, and like, continuing the series, there's not a lot of like superheroes movies where all three are hits.
Top tier, yeah.
All are tits, okay? They always have that one that's good, one that's average, and then one that was
Unless you're Black Panther.
Unless you're Black Panther, you stay winning. You stay winning. But I just think Spider-Man 2 is like the epitome of how you do a sequel. We have the continuation of the character in Toby Maguire's, Peter Parker. We have the conflict, how hard it is to balance being, a superhero and having a love life, having a normal life.
Yeah.
We also get that scene where he just completely decides to give up his superhero identity and just become Peter Parker. And then what triggers him back into it? The most amazing scene ever, when he's at the cafe talking to MJ and Dr. Oz just flies through that freaking window and just
he's all like, shit, I got it.
His Spidey senses came back real quick. Yeah. Let's say the thing about the Spider-Men in the Marvel universe: don't touch their ladies, don't touch their women,
unless you're
Let's not get, because I know where you're about to go with that. Let's not, okay? It's not his fault.
This close to just.
It's not his fault. Andrew did his best. But yeah, I'm going to Spider-Man 2. Also, we have Dr. Oz, like one of the most iconic
100%
villains. And I honestly think how they did even the CGI in the film, it's like, we get into these days now with the superhero films, it's so over CGI. But I feel like the Spider-Man trilogy, that Sony, I can't remember who directed it. Oh, wait, give me a second. I can't. Sam Raimi. Yes. Yeah. I remember. Didn't he do Multiverse of Madness? Yeah. Because I know
did he only do those two?
He did the first, I think he only did Multiverse of Madness. I don't think he did Doctor Strange, the first one. I think he did Multiverse of Madness though, because we're getting on topic a little bit, but because he has done a lot of horror films, thriller films. He did Evil Dead. And, with the, what's it called? With the extra, like horror element that was added into Multiverse of Madness, I think that's why they chose him. Back into the pick. Yeah, I just think it's an amazing film. Sam Raimi did amazing on it. And yeah, I'm going with Spider-Man 2. I think Toby Maguire, to me, really set the bar for the Spider-Man films. And I think Tom Holland's and Andrew Garfield's couldn't have been done without Toby Maguire's and Sam's Spider-Man. So that's why I'm going for my second pick. Fair. Okay. So those are our first two picks. I mean, your second pick was Age of Ultron, and I was Spider-Man 2.
So my next film, I'm going to go with another Avengers one.
Okay. So that'll be your second last Avengers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm going with Endgame.
Okay. I figured. Okay. Endgame. I think that's a fair pick.
Because here's the thing. It's the way they were able to loop, because obviously we all know how Infinity War ended. Mm-hmm. We know how Infinity War ended. Everyone was shocked, okay? And then that cliffhanger was just like top tier. But then I love when characters, like, I don't want to say solve the problem, but like they got so creative with it. And without Endgame and them figuring out the whole like time travel deal, like I feel like there are certain elements in like the MCU that were just like could not be done. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And then also one of my favorite things about it is I'm a very sentimental person. So when they were going back into time and like when they went back to like the scene where Star-Lord gets his hands on the orb, the very beginning of Guardians of the Galaxy, and then it's Rhodey and Nebula going, wow, this guy like helped save the universe. He's like dancing and singing and doing like nothing for that. Yeah. And when they're all just like criticizing each other, like it's just so funny to me. And I love like going back and watching those scenes because obviously Endgame was the end of an era. No matter which way we want to slice and dice it, it was the end of a very important, serious era that going from there has, not gonna lie, proven a little difficult.
And regardless of how because some people are like, the Marvel Cinematic Universe ruined how movies are made. It, capitalized, saturated the film market. Whatever you want to say, I think that without the MCU and without Avengers Endgame, we don't have this level of interaction with the fandom.
Exactly.
I think the only fandom that was out there like that was Star Wars. That was until then it was Star Wars. But up until then, you have horror fanatics, you had adventure fanatics, you had rom-com fanatics. But did you really have a group of people like that coming? And did you ever watch as a film full of people sat there crying at the end of Infinity War?
Literally.
And could not believe it. And then Endgame, you have the same thing. I give respect to the MCU for what it has done for film. Yeah. I think it definitely has done something for film history, film industry.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, you have to say it's made its impact. And I think it does have its positives. Regardless of what you feel about the films, I think it has the positives. And I do think it was truly the end of an era.
No, because Endgame, it brought, like you just said, it created this sense of community. I think if you go on YouTube and watch all the different videos of people reacting to Endgame, there's the scene where Captain America picks up Thor's hammer, and everyone's cheering, everyone's yelling and screaming. Give me another series in which case everyone is that animated, watching the film for the first time, and then talking about it afterwards. I know people who went to see this movie 3-4 times, and movie tickets are not cheap.
It's a good film. I like that.
I like that movie.
Okay.
I like that movie a lot.
Okay, solid. So, Avengers,
Endgame.
Okay, so for my third pick, what can I say? I love these little dorks. I'm going Spider-Man No Way Home. It's such a good film.
I hate the ending. It's a good ending.
Oh, okay. I was for a second, I was like, what ending?
Because you said No Way Home, right?
Yeah, No Way Home. I remember. First of all, I just loved that the Spider-Man, I feel like every Spider-Man kind of has their overarching theme of the films. I feel like, Toby's Spider-Man was kind of juggling, being Spider-Man. With great power comes great responsibility. That was the major arc theme, of the whole thing. Yeah. And him battling that responsibility. I feel like Tom's was always trying to find a home. First, he was trying to find a home with the Avengers. Then he realized he has a home within himself, right? In this final movie, he now has no home, the sense of security that he always felt he did. Spider-Man 2.
Homecoming, Far From Home, No Way Home.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Top tier marketing.
I think what the third, there are some things about the plot I will say I don't really like. I don't like that they made it Peter's responsibility to give those guys a second chance, because I feel like for villains, they have to want to change. It didn't feel like all of them really wanted to change, and it felt like he was just doing it out of his moral obligation. But I feel like it works to his sense.
Wait, who's the villain in this movie?
It's 5 of them. It's is it Electro? Jamie Foxx's character.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. And then we have Dr. Oz, and then we have the Green Goblin.
Oh my gosh! I need to rewatch this movie.
And we have Sandman. And then, is that it? We had 4. I don't think we had any other than.
I think it was just the 4. Keep going.
But yeah, there was just a lot of elements to this movie. I think they seamlessly. But I just feel like why I picked this film is I just think the camaraderie around it was amazing. It was the worst kept secret ever. Yeah. Worst kept secret. We knew Andrew and Toby were gonna be with it.
Oh, and also the lizard.
Oh yes, it was the lizard.
Yeah.
But see, like I said, there's a couple of plot things that I feel like I have a problem with. I feel like not all the characters, the villains they brought back, were featured as much. I feel like there are some I honestly feel like I love that Toby and Andrew were in there, but I definitely think they got lazy with Toby's entrance because he just walked in. They just there's Toby.
They're like, oh my gosh, Peter, you're back. Wait, who are you?
And then Peter, also he looking like they said at church. He couldn't even be in his suit. He couldn't even be in his suit.
He looked like a youth pastor.
It was crazy. But also it was just so fun. Throughout, I do love how I feel like sometimes there's not enough consequences in these films. So killing off Aunt May, I think that was totally.
As much as I hate to agree, that's one of the keys to the Peter Parker trope. that they were avoiding. They waited until like the last movie to make. I think
it's because they didn't kill Uncle Ben because Uncle Ben had already been dead.
Yeah.
So we needed a death that hit hold. And while what's it called? Iron Man's death hit home for him. Tony's, I don't feel like they needed one within the trilogy. Yeah. And I feel like
Aunt May, that's how the second one like start, remember him with the mural behind him.
Yeah. Yeah. So I definitely feel they needed a death that was gonna hit hard. And honestly, that scene where he's like alone on the top of the ceiling, the cinematography, he's like the most hated man in the world. Yeah. I just feel like the film served its purpose. It was such a great film. It really finished out an amazing, I think they did really well with those 3 films. I don't think any of them are weak, honestly. Like
they're all strong.
I think they're pretty solid. And so yeah, I and also being in that theater when they finally came out, when everyone was cheering, everyone cheered when they saw Andrew. First of all, but I can tell you right now, I clocked Andrew a mile when they started the scene between Zendaya and I can't remember his character, his best friend. Ned. When they started between MJ and Ned, and he was like doing the portals, I was like, Andrew, and I could tell it was Andrew when it was the Spiderman down that alley because Tom is not that tall and he ain't that skinny. I knew it.
No, because you're right.
I was like, that's Andrew. That's Andrew. I know my man. I know my man when I see him. But yeah, I'm going with Spider-Man No Way Home. That's my third. That's our third pick. Third pick.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a really good film.
All right, go into your fourth pick.
My fourth pick is Thor Ragnarok.
Okay, I figured you were gonna take that one, honestly.
Thor Ragnarok. It's my gosh. There's just Taika Waititi.
Listen,
with that film, I don't think I could have seen any other director doing that because with Taika's like directing style, it's like he takes serious movies and like makes them entertaining to watch. Like he also did Jojo Rabbit. Remember when Jojo Rabbit came out? Yeah. That movie, it's such a serious movie, but it's like
funny.
It's funny, and you can't not watch it. And then
it's satire in a way.
Exactly.
But also, it's a balance. And I do think, like, Thor Ragnarok, what I love about Thor Ragnarok is I love when the film has consequences, and they show the power. Because he lost the hammer.
Yeah.
He had to now just
rely. And it's
like, and it's honestly, for a long time, I think that he forgot that he's not the god of the hammer.
That's literally
the god of thunder, baby. Use your other powers.
When he goes into that whole like when he's in his head and then he's like talking to like his father who would like pass away and he's all like, who are you? Thor, god of hammers? Like that
Thor, god of
that's literally the freaking line. Like, and then it's just
I definitely think, and honestly, if we're being real, Thor needed a win. They needed a win because the first Thor movie isn't bad. It's just a totally tonal different. It's the second Thor movie. We don't talk about the Thor. This Thor movie was great, and I think the only reason why the fourth Thor movie wasn't good was because they leaned too much into that humor instead of remembering that what makes Thor Ragnarok so great is that there was a balance.
Yeah, because it was still about like I don't want to say the fighting, but like he was fighting for his home. He was fighting for. Because, Hela comes in and she's the goddess of death and she's over here trying to kill literally everyone in Asgard. She wants to either imprison them or kill them. And then, like, fighting, like, when you have a character who's, like, fighting for their home, then it should, and then...
It's a good film.
Yeah, and then it's the whole, I love the whole, like, messy family dynamic, too, though.
Oh, yeah, because Loki, the whole...
Yeah, because...
And also we got the Hulk.
Yeah, I do appreciate Bruce Banner in this film, but only because I want Mark Ruffalo's Bruce Banner to have his own film, but at the same time, I don't.
I just feel like, what is that story about?
Exactly.
Now we lost a lot of characters that were integral to his character development.
Exactly.
So what is his character now? What is that?
That's why I'm happy that they were like obviously it's Thor's film, but like. Bruce Banner plays like an integral part in that film also. You know, they're the Revengers.
So, all right. So, I figured you were going to take that. So, I'm going to let you have it. But I am going with Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I just think it's a great... I
haven't seen the third one.
People are going to kill you for that.
I haven't seen the third.
I won't spoil anything for you. I'll keep this...
Honestly, yeah, spoilers. Hold on. It's just because I also haven't seen the new Doctor Strange and like I'm trying to like.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I'll just talk about it kind of like quick and short. But I just think that's how you end a series. That's how you. I didn't know what they were gonna do after in Endgame and like all the things that have happened that it would have impacted the Guardians of the Galaxy. They also did that little TV special where we found out that Mantis and Peter were related. But I think like this is one of the heavy hitters for Marvel. I think Marvel, like I said, there is not one standalone film other than Black Panther. There's not one that gets 3. Other than Black Panther and Spider-Man are the only 2 that have gotten 3 films that are solid all the way through.
Do you not think Guardians is solid all the way? I
said then Guardians. I'm saying Guardians, Spider-Man, and Black Panther are the only ones with 3 that are solid. All 3 are solid.
Love the OG 6, but like
this was a great, and also I liked how Guardians was able to add more characters into the mix, and it didn't feel like we were watching so many different plots, so many different stories. Like
it didn't feel like so like when you watch like Grey's Anatomy, if you watch the beginning seasons versus the ending seasons, you go through so many different characters that it gets to the point where you're like, what show am I even watching anymore?
But this one it didn't. And also like even with the dynamic changes, like Gamora and Peter and like it still said Peter, Star-Lord. No, he's Peter Quill. I was
Peter Quill. It's because you were just talking about Peter Parker.
I thought, I was having a little brain moment. But no, I just think that the dynamics, it's solid.
Mm-hmm. Funny enough, watching Guardians at that point, that's when did Homecoming come out?
Oh, I know this. It was right when I was like in middle school. I think
it came out 2015.
I think it was like 2016, 2015.
Yeah. So I saw Guardians and I was like, wow, this is a really good film. Maybe I'll watch the other ones, but then never got around to it. And then Homecoming came out and everyone was like, oh my gosh, Tom Holland. And then I went to go watch Homecoming. But since it starts with Civil War, then I jumped into Civil War. And me getting into Marvel was a whole thing, but it started with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, so okay. So that was my pick. I thought for a second we were talking about your pick. No, it was my pick. No, it was your Guardians pick. 3. All right. Okay. Go into your 5th pick.
I'm going with Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Okay. First of all, you picked my husband. Oh, Simu. I love you.
No, literally, I
think that was one of the hits. I feel like people were quick to forget about it, but that was Phase 5, right? No, Phase 4.
It was the end of Phase 4, yeah.
No, his was during the beginning of Phase 4. His was right before Black Panther. His was, it was towards the end, you're right. It was towards the end. But, because I remember he made a post being like, I'm going to enjoy being one of the highest grossing films right now before Black Panther blows us out of the water. Yeah. And I was like, I love a self-aware king. He knew, but respectfully, he was like, I'm just going to enjoy the moment.
So remember how I said that Avengers Endgame was like the end of an era?
Yeah.
Right? So once that movie came out, I think then people got into this whole like, okay, well, how is Marvel going to top this? How is Marvel going to top this? Everyone already was anticipating.
And I feel like
Wakanda Forever.
Yeah, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I'm just going to say this. Like, I feel like people, because they love the Infinity Saga so much, they will not give the rest of this thing a chance.
Exactly, which is part of the reason why I went with this movie because, so I'm not going to lie, I was one of the people who low-key fell off the Marvel bandwagon. Like, when movies started, like, because then it was, the only movies I was, anticipated and, like, truly excited for was Black Panther 2, but that's because I saw the other one, part of Infinity, and then No Way Home, because all those movies are fantastic.
Yeah.
But then watching Shang-Chi, that movie reminded me of why I love watching Marvel films.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that movie was just so, like, I could not.
It's stunning.
It was such a beautifully done film that I was like, I don't see, because I love films that incorporate culture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm speechless. I'm speechless.
It's a good film.
Yeah.
It's a good film. I love Simu.
However, me and Awkwafina are a hit or miss.
I honestly didn't mind her in the film. I thought there were some parts that didn't need it, but I didn't mind her that much.
I didn't mind her in the film, but I still had a scuttlebutt stuck in my head from The Little Mermaid.
That was way after, though.
I just recently watched Shang-Chi.
Oh, okay.
I should preface. I just recently watched that movie over the summer.
Oh, okay.
That's why I'm slowly hopping back onto my Marvel wagon.
Okay.
So yeah, I still had like Scuttlebutt stuck in my head. So when I heard Awkwafina, Like, there was just some moments where I was like, Scuttle needs to get out.
I'm screaming. Okay, so, all right, that's a fair pick. I am going for my 5th pick, right?
Yes.
Deadpool.
I forgot
I love Deadpool. Oh, let me tell you something. So I'm an X-Men girly. When I come about Marvel, I love the X-Men. I love Deadpool.
I'm so pissed off. Wait, did you go one or two?
Oh, the first one.
Okay. I'm so upset. I forgot.
Let me tell you something. When he's on that thing, hey, yeah, and he's singing the song, it's so funny. He's so self-aware. Ryan Reynolds. I love Ryan Reynolds. He's just so good. I cannot wait for the 3rd one. Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds
on the same screen
as Wolverine. Oh, moment of silence. I just love Ryan Reynolds. And so this film was so amazing. I remember, like, when I went to, I think I saw the film in theaters. And
did you see it with your parents?
No, my brothers. We snuck into the film. They were older enough though to see it at the time because I think it was rated R.
It's rated.
Yeah, so they snuck me in. I don't know. I don't remember how we got past, honestly, but I think it's because I don't remember how we got in. But I know I was seeing it when I was too young to actually really be able to see it. Yeah, but it was such a funny.
2016.
I was in middle school.
We were in middle school when that movie.
Bruh, like, I already knew half of the stuff that was going on in there. So, like, it wasn't that bad.
No joke. That movie is so
It's so good.
Funny. No.
There's every part of it. It's just all good.
Because at the end of the day, he still just wants...
Like, my favorite...
He wants their relationship to work out.
Yes. My favorite part is he goes, teenage Megasonic Warhead. And all the comments he makes about her, he'd be like, ooh, I hate the guy who tries to force her into like every comment he made about her. He's like, will it be a snarky remark or a sarcastic? Yeah. And he was just like, you got me in a real shit.
No, my favorite one. Oh, wait, was it the first one or the second one? Where they were like, because one X-Men like comes back and he's all like, oh yeah, because we couldn't afford all the other X-Men to come into the movie.
And he's just like,
so funny.
And then they talk about how the X-Men Center blows up like all the time. He's like, it's character building.
Yes. No, one of my favorite scenes is when it's like the beginning of the film when they're doing like the car chase and he's like, crap, I got 3 bullets and like 19 people to kill or something.
That is amazing. He had 10 bullets. He had a will and a dream. Yeah. He had 10 bullets and a will and a dream.
Name another like, that's the thing. He's like not a super. He's an anti-hero.
He's an anti-hero, but I love him.
But like name another like character in the MCU who could do something that like. That fast thinking too though, because you have to admit Deadpool's smart as shit.
Yeah, he used to be a hitman. All right, get into your final.
I couldn't choose between these two.
You gotta. It's your final film pick, your 6th film.
Because mine is going to This might not necessarily be the strongest one, but it's like you can't not. Like if you're gonna talk about Marvel movies, I will be bringing back the very first Iron Man.
Okay.
Iron Man.
We actually watched that. I watched that film for the first time in our film since the 1940s.
I was shocked when she said she'd never seen the first one. The first Iron Man.
The thing is, it's funny because I had only seen it in parts because it used to show on FX. Yeah. Before Disney took over Marvel and like took the copyright. Mm-hmm. I used to watch it I used to see clips of it and like other, like I wouldn't be able to watch the whole thing through. Like I've never watched it start to end. I actually was like I was like, you know what? It's a very good film.
It just, that movie is the premise of every Marvel movie. You know?
I think it definitely started an era. I don't think they knew.
No, they didn't.
They didn't know what this was going to be.
No, because here's the thing. With Robert Downey Jr., they took a chance on this man. Because this was...
Before he was, like, the most loved man on there.
What the heck is his name? He plays Happy.
Oh, Christopher Malone? No. Oh. He plays
What's
Happy.
His name? Happy Hogan.
Oh, I thought you were talking about something else.
No.
I thought you were talking about something else. No. There's this show called Happy, and I thought you were talking about
what Jon Favreau. That's his
okay. Do you know what I was thinking? You were talking about there's a show called Happy with Christopher Maloney on it, and I thought you were talking about that actor.
No. I'm talking about he plays Happy in the Marvel movies. Oh, but so basically the whole premise of the Marvel movie, like Marvel was kind of an experimental film because RDJ was coming out of all of his like controversies and legal drama and everything with that. So Jon Favreau and was this isn't the first film he's directed, but then he was just kind of like, oh yeah, you know what? Let's do Iron Man. Everyone could use a good superhero movie. And then they took a chance with RDJ, turned it like literally without RDJ, the Marvel franchise I think would have had a slower start.
I don't think the Marvel franchise would have been what it was
without RDJ.
I honestly don't think we would be talking about the MCU like this.
Exactly. And it's just
and I think that's what DC needs. I think they need to take a chance on someone.
They need
and I feel like they just did that with Blue Beetle.
I haven't seen Blue Beetle yet.
I love you, Zono. But I think that's what DC needs. But continue with your point.
No, here's the that's part of the reason why I want to include it onto my team, because you know how it's like with like teams in general, you want the player with experience, and you're like, oh, he's like an iconic player, so like why not have it on the team? That's Iron Man for me.
All right, and I think it's a good pick.
Yeah, like plus there's so many different like Tony Stark as a character is so funny, but also like obviously like not everyone can relate to him.
I don't even think it's RDJ acting at that point. Like I feel like
RDJ is Tony Stark.
I feel like he is Tony Stark, so it made it so much easier.
No, because there's the one clip at freaking Comic-Con where Stan Lee is even like, no, Robert Downey Jr. was born to play Iron Man. No one else could play Iron Man. And then they have this really like sweet hug, and then oh my gosh, makes me cry.
All right, so for my sixth and final pick, I already mentioned I'm an X-Men girly, but I'm not going with the original X-Men series. I'm going with X-Men First Class. I love X-Men First Class. Girl, you gotta watch it. I love X-Men First Class. I feel like that is how you do an origin story. That is how you do a freaking origin story. We get introduced to Magneto.
I love origin stories. Let me.
It's an origin story on like it was the first class of X-Men. It's an origin story on how we get, like how Charles Xavier started the X-Men in the school for gifted kids. We get an intro into Magneto and why he is the way he is, why he chooses their kind of Malcolm X to Martin Luther King type of ways of them going about being. I also love the X-Men because it kind of shows realistically how superheroes would be treated in society. Yeah. Because I feel like a lot of the MCU, like people take superheroes happily because there's bad guys out there. But in the real world, you see how many ways we discriminate against people. I feel like superheroes would be another easy target. And I just love how they handle all these social complexities.
Oh, they have powers. We can't trust people with
powers. Love all the social complexities that they have. Mm-hmm. And then I just love Jennifer Lawrence is in this film. She's
Mystique, right?
Yes, amazing Mystique. I just feel like X-Men First Class truly is an amazing X-Men film. I think it's an amazing Marvel film. I hope. And also, they built off of that, like, X-Men Days of Future Past. That was my other one I was thinking of picking. I just love the X-Men series. I love that X-Men show.
I desperately need to watch it.
You should watch it. It's so good. I think they did an amazing job. And there's a Hugh Jackman cameo. And it's so funny the scene with him because it's just so Hugh Jackman. It's just so Logan. It's just so Logan. It's so Wolverine. So for our last, we also have a special seventh pick. This isn't going to be an MCU film, but an MCU TV show.
And I'm so happy I went first because if you'd picked this show, I would have cried. But this is where my Captain America comes in. Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Oh, that's where you're going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
I thought it was good too. I thought it was. My brother loved it.
Oh my gosh. Because obviously at the end of Endgame, Steve's old. He's not like, and they're like, okay,
it really just started the new Captain America. Yeah.
And then one of my favorite things about it was the whole point of the show was it was the country trying to find a new Captain America, right? Because they're like, okay, well, Steve Rogers he's dead. Like, he doesn't exist anymore. So who's going to be the next Captain America? Because obviously, and then it goes into the whole controversy of, oh, well, obviously the next Captain America has to be tall, white, blonde, blue-eyed, macho man, right? So that's why I can't remember the character's name, but that's why they go with who they go with. And then you have Sam Wilson's character going down the whole trope where it's like, well, I'm a black man living in America. Ain't no way anybody's going to respect me if I'm the next Captain America, even though the shield literally, like Steve Rogers was like, no, the shield is going to Sam. But, obviously it's that whole, and it came out during that time, like I'm not trying to get political about the whole thing, but it came out in that time where it was kind of like,
There's a lot of
a lot of tension going on in America. Mm-hmm. So then it's just one of those films, and then the older black gentleman, whose name I can't remember the names. I should have looked it up beforehand. But he's explaining how he was like, no, I was the first Captain America. Like it worked for me, but I was a black man in the military. Like what the like. They just, because the second they realized it worked on him, they were like, oh shit, we gave the wrong person that power. Let's scrap him. Let's lock him. Let's call him crazy, and everything. So then they handled a lot of topics. They handled a lot of very serious topics, but they did it well and respectfully. And I think that's one of the things, is I feel like sometimes shows, and especially since a lot of the Marvel shows I drafted were the ones that were more lighthearted, the more funny, and they were nice films to watch. This was very damn, hold on, let's look at, and then the whole, all the villains in that show, it was literally they were just kids and people who got misplaced because of the actions of the Avengers. So if anything, it kind of, that show I think puts the rest of the MCU in perspective. And as much as I love Captain America, Steve Rogers is my favorite superhero, it did also kind of bring up that whole but is he low-key problematic? Yeah. Which I didn't mind, because he's you can love a character and they can still be problematic and admit their flaws. And I like how they went about handling that character. And I'm also just the character dynamic between Sam Wilson and Bucky just warms my heart so much, because obviously right off the bat, Bucky and Steve were best friends. Bucky dies. Sam Wilson becomes Steve Rogers' best friend. Bucky comes back, bad guy. Spoiler.
There's a lot to go there.
The character development between those two characters specifically. I'm obviously they're not lovers, so don't take this the wrong way when I say this, but it's an enemies to lovers kind of trope, and that's my favorite. When they start off as enemies hating each other to then becoming brothers. The final scene in that series, I fucking love.
Okay, all right, yeah, I definitely didn't think you were gonna go with, but then I feel because you didn't get a Captain America in there,
I had to wiggle it in somewhere.
Okay. Fair. Okay, so for mine, see, I had two for this. I had two that I was thinking, because I thought you were going to go somewhere. I thought you were going to go this way. But now I have to choose between them. And I'm
which way did you think I was going to go?
I'll tell you once I choose. I think I'm going to go with Moon Knight. I'm going to go with Moon Knight. The other one was, I thought you were going to for sure take WandaVision. For sure thought you were going to take WandaVision. But I love Moon Knight. I think it's such a cool concept. Yeah. I think this was a superhero. I had no idea this superhero existed until they introduced him. Also, it was starting so many trends on TikTok with the songs and the switching of people. And Oscar Isaac put his whole acting career into it, because it's hard to play two different people. Two different people in the same body. And I just think Moon Knight, they showcased so many different cultures, so many different characters. All of the lore behind it. It was just so amazing. But my other pick would have been WandaVision, because I just loved what they did with WandaVision. It was so cute. There were so many Easter eggs. I think the three TV shows we have mentioned are the strongest MCU TV shows. I definitely think they're the strongest.
However, I would like to plug Loki season 2 comes out, I believe, October 27th.
Yeah, Loki is also another strong one. The MCU shows are always hit or miss. But I'm going with Moon Knight.
Honestly, if I'm being honest, I feel because I'm not saying the Marvel movies are not doing it. If you look at them statistically, they're not doing as well as they have done in the past. Because I think they're starting to shift more focus into the TV shows.
Here, this is what I'm going to say about that. Is that I think Marvel, one of my problems with Marvel is that you have to watch all of this bullshit to sometimes understand what's going on in the main series. In order to, and it just makes it too complicated. I get it. They're trying to get their bag. They're trying to get their money's worth. But some of the best series are the ones where you don't even need to I think that's where DC gets the advantage sometimes, is that you don't really need to watch.
You can watch Aquaman, but you don't have to watch all the ones before that. You can watch Blue Beetle. You don't have to watch all everything before that. You
don't need to watch anything. You don't need to watch the DC verse to understand what's going on.
What is it? It's the DCEU? The DC Extended Universe?
Yes. So I think that's my problem with if the Marvel Cinematic Universe TV show was its own universe, and then the films were their own universe, I think it would do us better. Yeah. But that's how I'm going to say.
Because I explained, me getting into Marvel to begin with, I wanted to watch Homecoming, but then the beginning of
Yeah,
that
watch
movie
this.
is literally him filming Civil War, and
So
then
you
I
have to
go to
film.
watch Civil War, but I'm like, who are half of these characters? So then I have to go. At that point, I was like, might as well start from the very freaking beginning.
And that's fair. But okay, so let's run down our list for the audience. So go through
Okay.
your
Do you want me to go through 1 through 7?
Mm-hmm.
I have Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, Age of Ultron, Avengers Endgame, Thor Ragnarok, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, Iron Man 1, and then Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
And I have Black Panther, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man No Way From Home, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, I have Deadpool, I have X-Men First Class, and I have Moon Knight. With honorable mention to WandaVision, because it's just so amazing. But yeah, guys, thank you so much, Taya, for joining me for this episode. This was super fun. I think our lists are kind of different, but I definitely think at the base of them, it's good picks. It's just what you prefer. Honestly. I think I have more of like the Marvel Cinematic Universe out and inside.
That's what I was gonna say.
And I think yours stays to the
I'm not gonna lie, like I'm very much like the MCU. Whereas like then you pulled in Deadpool. I freaking forgot Deadpool was part of the MCU, which I'm kind of really mad at myself about. Don't worry,
But no,
kicking
yeah.
myself with a boot.
So it depends.
Or
Do you
whatever
just
the
love
saying is.
like if you love the Infinity Saga, Taya's draft is more of your If you love like different parts of the MCU, you love jumping around.
More of the extended universe.
Yeah,
part.
I'm more of the extended universe.
You want deep dive into Infinity? I got
But yes, guys, so this is my favorite part of the fantasy film draft. You guys are going to get to decide whose picks are better, whose lineups. Comment below in the comments. And let's get into the outro. It's too late now. If you want to keep up with me and all of the things that I'm doing, you can follow me on my public profile at Alexis Otang or at the show's profile at the ChickFlicks Show. That is the same thing for TikTok at the ChickFlicks Show. And for TikTok, for my profile, it's at Simply Alexis. Alexis spelled ALXS. And of course, on our bios, you can find our link tree to all of our other socials. Make sure you do follow Owl TV because I'm an official show for them and FAU Owl Radio. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for listening, whether it's on YouTube or Spotify. Give it a like, a comment, a thumbs up, subscribe, and make sure you stay up to date because I want to keep doing these videos. It was so much fun.
I want to come back. This was actually a lot of fun.
Thank you.
I want to do another draft.
Comment below if you want Taya to come back for the DC Extended Universe and all the DC films drafts. And yeah, guys.
Aquaman.
This is Alexis signing off of ChickFlicks. Thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one.